In this day and age, the media is everywhere. It influences the things we wear, the things we eat, the things we do each and every day. It also plays an enormous role in this past election, not surprisingly. We can find information about the candidates wherever we want, and even where we don't want, as candidates spend exorbitant amounts of money to increase their name recognition. The effectiveness of this strategy becomes very clear as we look at this graph, which shows us how close of a correlation media mentions have with poll success. And the nature of those mentions are not always necessarily impactful on the poll results, as our correspondent from the Pentagon can tell us.
I think the media actually had the reverse effect on the election that it intended, at least that it seems to have intended. A lot of media coverage seemed to put Trump in a very negative light. I almost found it comical just how much they went out of their way to spin things negatively on him. But this had an unintended effect in that it got him a lot of publicity. It was a lot of free advertising. There's a saying that there's no such thing as negative publicity because it just gets your name out there and gets people looking into you and learning about you. Because of this really heavy negative spin on him, this almost sort of attack on him, it almost sort of demonized his supporters, and it made people feel uncomfortable to say that they supported him. And as a result of that, when it came to the polls, or when it came to people stating their opinions, the majority that supported Trump seemed to be very silent. They didn't speak up as much. And so it created this very strong perception that he was very likely to lose, and nobody took him very seriously. But the people had their opinions regardless of whether or not they felt safe in stating those opinions. And ultimately that showed in the elections.
And that brings us to media bias. Trump was portrayed as evil, just as Hillary surely was at times too. This bias has a profound effect on our opinions, and they often don't know how unreliable they can be.
Donald Trump is the presumptive Republican nominee for president, fueled entirely by an army of supporters who like him for all the wrong reasons. But let's not mince words here. Donald Trump would, without question, be the absolute worst president America has had to endure in the lifetimes of any living people on this planet.
Well, it says right there on the site, we make no representations about the accuracy of the information on the website. Any reliance you place on such information is therefore strictly at your own risk.
So I was reading this article on Washington Post, and it says that Trump is going to bring back Christianity. I mean, he's going to make everyone say Merry Christmas again.
That assumes that Christianity is already gone, and that is completely out of context.
Many religions and cultures have a belief in the devil. Today, for a growing legion of people, Donald Trump has become the modern devil because of his association with racism, bigotry, xenophobia, inciting violence, lying about almost everything, and otherwise having the attributes of someone who is a dangerous threat to humanity.
That's an April Fool's Day article. I mean, that's a joke. It's not even a real article. But you know, all the real articles are just so incredibly biased and spun that people will think that's a real one.
So some people say that Trump is stupid, but I mean, he directly said that my IQ is one of the highest.
But there are even smarter people who disagree. Oh.
This article says that, per usual, the Republican side of the aisle is a hot mess. Trump is someone the entire world knows, and thus the entire world knows that he's a blowhard and a bad hairpiece.
That was just written on an online forum. I mean, like, that's not even a professional article. That's just pure spin and bias.
So I was reading this article from Red State Watcher, and it said that all liberal media is biased, so you can't even listen to it.
Of bias, that is an incredibly biased source. How do you even substantiate a claim like that?
And so we see, we can't just blindly trust everything we read on the internet. As beings of opinion, we love to hear opinionated things, and so to meet the demand, the media is simply giving us what we all want. And it's our responsibility to fact check the sources talking about an issue and to read about both sides on that same issue. Check out the sources in the description of this video and comment what you think about media consumption and its credibility. And don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Thanks, guys.